Hi everyone, my name's Alex Shank. I'm a senior at Arizona State University. I am taking Criminal Justice 304, Inequality, Crime, and Criminal Justice. Today I will be presenting to you a PowerPoint called Power, Pain, and Possibility, Exploring Intimate Partner Violence. Behind closed doors. Often, abuse starts in the most ordinary places we expect to feel safe. A hallway, a quiet room, in a home. This image represents the way intimate partner violence is often hidden behind closed doors, kept private by silence, stigma, or fear. It reminds us that just because we don't see it doesn't mean it isn't happening. The physical space becomes symbolic of how this kind of violence is protected and normalized in everyday life. Muted truth. Many survivors are silenced, not only by their abusers, but by people and institutions who don't believe them. This image speaks to that silencing. When someone's voice is constantly questioned or dismissed, it becomes easier to just stay quiet. Emotional abuse thrives in that space, where speaking out doesn't feel safe or worth the risk. Survivors often internalize this silence, making it even harder for them to reach out for help in the future. Emergency exit. For some survivors, the emergency room becomes the first real chance to get help. But by that point, the situation's already reached a crisis. Even then, many leave without ever saying what really happened. This image shows that access to safety isn't just about getting treatment. It's also about being heard, believed, and supported. Too often, these moments are missed opportunities to intervene before more harm can occur. Controlled choices. This picture of a pregnancy test brings attention to reproductive coercion, which is another form of control. In abusive relationships, decisions around birth control, pregnancy, and parenthood aren't always made freely. What should be private and personal choices often become another way to trap someone and limit their options. It's a reminder that control over the body is deeply connected to control over one's future. Trapped by survival. Financial abuse doesn't always stand out, but it's one of the most common ways survivors are controlled. This image represents how overdue bills, limited access to money, and economic dependence can all make leaving feel impossible. Sometimes survivors stay not because they want to, but because they truly can't afford to go. Without access to housing, income, or support, many survivors are forced to choose between danger and instability. Little eyes watching. Even when children aren't directly involved in the violence, they're still affected by it. This drawing shows the emotional impact from a child's perspective. Those early exposures can shape their understanding of love, trust, and relationships for the rest of their lives. We need to consider children as a secondary survivors whose voices deserve recognition. Aftermath. This picture captures what's left behind. The mess, the exhaustion, the weight of managing everything while navigating fear or trauma. Survivors often carry the emotional labor of keeping life going, even when everything around them feels so overwhelming. Abuse doesn't pause for parenting, and caretaking doesn't stop just because someone is hurting. The everyday details in this picture tell such a bigger story of what it means to survive while still being responsible for others. Mirror mantras. Small moments of self-encouragement, like this writing on a mirror, are part of the healing process. After experiencing such emotional or psychological abuse, many survivors need to relearn how to speak kindly to themselves. These kind of affirmations may seem simple, but they're powerful way to reclaim identity and move forward. Rebuilding a sense of self is one of the hardest and most important parts of recovery. Still, I grow. Healing doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks quiet, steady growth after a long period of pain. This picture is a new leaf on a broken stem. It reflects the resilience many survivors carry. It's not about going back to who they were before. It's about learning how to grow through what happened. Recovery doesn't erase the damage. It transforms it into something that can still support life. Claiming space. This last image is about what comes after survival. Action. Whether it's advocacy, art, protest, or simply telling their story, many survivors go on to create change. This slide reminds us that reclaiming power isn't just about healing individually, it's about pushing for safer systems and communities for everyone. Survivors are often the ones leading the way towards justice, not just for themselves, but for others still finding their voice. Thank you so much for listening.